And go.
And Louise's camera is messy again. God damn it.
No.
Messy Louise.
Just my existence is messy.
Fixed.
Oh wow, you
Yeah.
said it,
Self-burn.
Louise.
Got her. Everyone got her.
Oh, mine's messy too. I'm all blurry. Oh, bye.
What? Yeah, you came back though, but you ruined everybody else's camera. So
That's me fucking it up.
Would it be
Yeah, Louise.
D8 stream with a fucking James? Oh, this is a choice.
What's a
yeah,
choice?
How dare you, James?
Speak your words, James.
I think he's talking about our matching t-shirts.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. That is a choice, James, and we agree with you.
I actually went up and changed when I saw Eilish wearing hers. So don't be jealous,
Don't
James.
tell people that. We're
You
supposed to just happen to do it at the same time.
Oh yeah, sorry, it happened. It spontaneously happened.
okay? So can we start playing the Ballad of the Mad Kings, or do we keep harassing James for the next?
Yeah, harassing James.
Well, we knew that Joe Quinn is going to be watching because he's like D8's #1 fan. So, hey Joe. Just waiting for him to reply in chat there. Just give it a second.
You are very welcome along to the latest episode of the Ballad of Mad Kings, where the sun rises. And if you're in chat, and if I have to keep fixing Louise's camera, I'm just gonna kick Louise. It's very.
I'm not doing it.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. It's fixed again. And if it changes again, you will have disinspiration on your next roll. And it's changed again. You've disinspiration. No, and it's back.
Oh my
No,
god.
disinspiration. Now you have it too,
Oh,
Taryn.
somebody else has to diss her.
That happens on the daily. What's new about that?
Not okay. God damn it. God damn you.
I don't know. Is it because we're on the same internet? Maybe I'm not sure.
I don't know. Hotspot off your phone. Right click the thing. Like James says that like I know what I'm doing. Right click the source, change the scaling to oh Jesus. I have a degree in technical things. Okay. That doesn't exist. Right click the source and change the scaling to inner bounds. If I recall it, I'm looking at the properties. Okay, do you know what? No, I'll just keep fixing Louise's stupid camera every time it breaks, and give out to her for it, because that's not coming up, James, at all. I don't see it there, so I will just manually keep adjusting Louise's camera for whatever reason it keeps adjusting her thing. Okay, so hopefully it stops. Nope, it's broken again. Oh my god. Like literally and now it's fixed again. Okay, great, this will be a fun stream for me. Lock the camera, just lock all the cams, and oh nope, it's broken again. And I'm just going to ignore it. This is probably why I shouldn't produce. Emma, you will be producing the next stream, because this is actually going to murder me.
I did offer.
You did. No, you did. And
It is the Ballad of the Mad King.
yeah, and I'm about to go freaking mad from it. Apologies, but it isn't a D8 dungeon stream unless there are technical issues. And Louise's head getting zoomed in and zoomed out. From now on, I'm just going to leave it as it is, because if I keep looking at it, it's just going to vex me.
Do we think Louise?
What a word! I love that word.
I'm always the problem.
So, as I was saying, you're very welcome along to the latest episode of the Ballad of the Mad Kings. This episode, our verse is entitled "Where the Sun Rises." I'm Declan. I'm your dungeon master, and I am joined by Louise as Aoire, Fiona as Yaphi, Emma as Anonce, and Eilish as Taryn. And if this is your first time watching, most of the videos are available on our YouTube channel. Unfortunately, our session from 2 weeks ago didn't move over for some reason.
Oh.
Probably because I didn't export it.
Is he taking responsibility for it?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, so when you start doing all the work here at D8 Dungeon, you let me know. And other than that, before we dive into our session, we have rolled for our recap. And Louise will be doing our recap from the last session. So we have very, very detailed notes from Ira as she recalls just what happens. And before that, just to quickly mention some friends of the show and some discount codes that you can get your hands on. And first up, if you are in the marketplace for a brand new TTRPG notebook or campaign planner, player journal, then you need to head on over to the Rook and the Raven. And if you use the code D8 Dungeon at the checkout, you'll get 15% off your order. And a portion of those that sale will come back to us here at D8 Dungeon. And that allows us to get some awesome artwork commissioned for characters for the show, and a whole other ream of bits and pieces and other plans that we have in the works. The notebooks are entirely customizable, and they are available for a couple of different systems, and occasionally they've been known to grant levels. Now
that's a trap, isn't it? You want me to show it, and then you'll get nasty with me. So I'm not going to show it.
It's okay. It was so blurry I didn't see it, so it's fine.
I started stretching. Oh God! Oh, I'm just stretching. Oh God! Oh, my rotator cuff.
No, it's done that weird
yeah,
Lua
okay,
thing where it went out of focus, so I wasn't able to read it. Sorry. You need to be able to. Yeah. No, it just didn't work. But yeah, we totally recommend you check out the Rook and the Raven for some really, really awesome notebooks that you can use as a DM or as a player. The other friend of the show to mention are the gang over at Dakota Irish. And when aren't you in the mood for new dice? Like, when don't you really need new dice? So if you do need new dice or an excuse to get new dice, then we totally recommend you check out the lovely team over at Dakota Irish, and you support a lovely small Irish business. And they don't just do dice, they do t-shirts and teas, dice jails, candles. I won't gush over the candles this week. And, well, I mean, I will, because I have actually one lighting in the living room right now, and it's lovely. It's the Christmas one, and it's gorgeous, even though it's April. And just after Easter, I'm mad. I'm mad. Oh my God. I do have a lit candle burning in a room that there's nobody in, so I may have to flee and let Louise know after I get out of the house. Yeah,
we'll keep an eye out.
I'll probably know before you because I'm above the sitting room.
Good.
You can just jump out the window, Louise,
Not
and leave
those
him to
new
his own
windows. You
devices.
can't for another 2 weeks, so you have to wait.
Okay.
I should have it.
What's everyone rolling with today? I'm rolling with my Regal Wisterious.
I have my Astral Seas.
Very
I don't know
sexy.
what
I'll show you the D4.
I
Oh,
got
poison
these ones,
apple.
Yeah, that Eilish got me that have little hammers in them for Regiment, another character that I play.
That's dead.
No, he's not. He's just sleeping at the bottom
Stop
of the
it.
sea.
Permanently.
I
He's just resting.
can't recall the name of these ones, but I'm rolling with these.
Are they
Oh,
from the
very nice.
advent calendar?
I think that's because this is one of the full sets I have. No, because no,
No.
it's not. Like I'm a big sucker for purple dice, so I bought these, I reckons, and they're gorgeous. They're so pretty. But yeah,
Very nice.
Okay, that out of the way, I think it's time for Louise to do a recap.
Yay, fun, great, woo. So after that experience that we had wherever we were, I ended up back at the
Place where there
Temple
was
of
things
Boss.
like. Sorry, go on. I'm just being annoying.
As I was saying, when in the middle of my prayers, I got called to find that Taryn and Anonce had come looking for me. And then we made our way to go and find Yaphi, who, in her usual distressed state, was flitting around the place excitedly, where we could all go and find somewhere to talk about what happened and what we were going to do about getting this gauntlet to the king and how we were going to go about it. we ended up going back to the tavern that Yaphi was staying in. See, this is why I take really bad notes because it's just written all over the place. The Quiver and Bow Tavern is where we ended up. And initially we were sitting at a table downstairs, but eventually we convinced everyone to go back up into the privacy of Yaphi's room to discuss our plan of attack, our plan of action for meeting with King Shifra. Which eventually led down the lines of Anonce getting quite drunk and boisterous, and she decided that she was going to have us as her entourage, and she would bring in the gauntlet in the case that we were mysterious. Oh yeah, we got given a box mysteriously, believing that the gauntlet was inside, and that she was going to sneak the box in and present it to the king as a gift. So the next day we made our way towards the palace. When we entered, we all got patted down and checked, but we managed to get the box inside. And then we were brought to the king, who was in the garden for the ceremony. He didn't seem all interested in seeing us. He seemed very much locked in whatever work he had going on at his table. But Anonce seemed to win him over slightly. And we ended up in his study waiting for him. While we were there, I got to have a little bit of a look around on his desk, and I saw mentions of a village called Portach, which struck my memory in some weird way. When the king arrived, anyway, Anonce handed over the gauntlet to him, and he seemed quite agitated with us. And we said that we could get him, well, we were about to tell him what we could do to get the second one, when what's his name?
Croaker.
Croaker appeared out of the box and offered the king our services in order to find the second gauntlet for him, and made a deal with him for such an endeavour. We were then quickly escorted out of the castle to get obviously as far away from the king as possible. I don't know how Anonce's friendship had turned so sourly so quickly. We got given horses and then headed on our way to our destination.
Yep, that was good.
Jesus, Declan. What's gotten into your pants tonight? Huh? Ants in your pants?
I gave
Mr.
lots of
Agitated.
details.
It's the camera, Louise's camera.
So
In his pants. Oh, we're on Twitch. Don't show that, Declan. That's for the other
that I
website.
use.
Schmonly schman.
So yeah, Louise, you have session inspiration for this evening, and you need to use it or lose it because it does not carry through into other sessions.
Thanks.
And that's where we pick up. We've the four of you on horseback, traveling along an eastern road in the direction of Portach. The horses that you're on, though they're fully equipped and reined and so on and so forth, they don't really seem to be listening to the four of you. They don't they've give me an insight check or an animal handling check.
Either or.
I'm definitely using insight.
Same diff for me.
Ah,
12 in
20.
insight.
21.
17.
Oh. Wow.
Emma,
I got a nat 20 with 21.
okay.
Nice.
So Anonce and Taryn, while Ira and Yaphi make notice of the horses are being a bit weird, but they're just kind of, Yaphi, you're kind of taking the chance to they're not racing down the road, so you're kind of taking in the scenery and the locale.
Is it sunny out?
It's quite a bright morning.
She'll have like pulled her legs up and like is trying to hide under the brim of her
Okay.
hat completely.
So yeah, you're kind of you're kind of trying to hide from the sun as much as possible. And Ira, you've ever since you came across that name, Portach, you've been kind of half in a world of your own. You've been kind of just lost on what it means, where it comes from, what you can, like, why is it sticking out for you? But Anonce and Taryn, both of you, for very different reasons. Taryn tactically, and Anonce from an attention point of view. The horses don't seem to be like, if you go to pull on the reins or like maybe redirect it, or kind of try and steer it away from a muddy puddle or anything like that, it doesn't react or respond to you steering it, or trying to lead it at all. Even going as so far as to maybe even giving it like a kick with your boot, or a tap with your boot to try and like get its attention. It's oblivious.
It's like it's pre-programmed.
Yeah. They seem completely and totally focused on just getting you there, and that's the other thing that both of you, having rolled a 21, notice. You've been traveling for a couple of hours. They haven't once stopped or slowed.
Aaron is going to look across to Anonce and just say, "Do you think we should rest soon?"
I mean, these grandiose steeds don't need it, so why do we?
I don't know about you, but I can't sleep in a saddle.
You're not trying hard enough.
She's just gonna roll her eyes and look over her shoulder at Yaphi and Ira.
Listen, I just don't think there's any stopping these. These have a mission. We are just playing along, and we will get there in no time. Resting would just dilly-dally.
Do we know how long the journey is to Portach?
The sign that you had seen on the edges of the town was faded.
Okay.
And Croaker, nor the king gave you any kind of indication as to how far you'd be traveling. But you set out kind of in the afternoon. It's now drawing into dusk. You've been riding. All of you are now somewhat uncomfortable. It's that thing of, you've been sort of in the saddle for a couple of hours, and the road at first was fairly well maintained. Like, you noticed that it was well traveled, and you passed several carriages, merchants, travelers, who bid you all hello, and a few, particularly the ones closest to the town of Burden, did recognize you, Anonce, as the Marigold of Moyvane. But as you Septurnal, as you were as the hours passed, the road became that much more rough, that less traveled on, that less worn, and it has been more rugged. Once or twice you were actually crossing what might have been farm or wilderness, and kind of cutting through brush. It's now dusk, and the sky is starting to grow dark. There's
still a bit of light, is there? Sorry, I think I'm gonna sneeze. I'm just gonna.
It's because you looked directly into the sun.
That's what you get.
No, I came in from work and put my face directly into my cat who'd been outside all day, and then my hay fever just
That's a
flared.
weird coincidence that those two things happened.
Anyway, it's dusk, but it's
You can
still,
still,
like,
there's still enough
there's light
natural
still.
light for you to be able to see your surroundings.
Okay. Yaphi's used to traveling, like she does it for a living, but she will, like, her bum is a bit sore now, and she's missing her her decent lodgings in Moyvane. So she'll shift in the saddle a little bit, and she's used to distracting herself when she gets a bit uncomfortable. So she'll pull out her little manuscript book and start writing down. And she kind of just announces, not talking to any of the group in particular, Portach, what does anybody know about where we're headed? I haven't heard of it before.
Do any of us know? Aoire does.
Do we know she
Do
knows?
we know she
No, we
knows
don't.
that she knows? Maybe, possibly. Is this metagaming?
You don't know that I know,
yeah.
but sure, I'm still trying to figure it out myself.
Fair.
If you give me a history check, Taryn.
My favourite thing to do when I get to somewhere new is try the local delicacies. So that's my first port of call before we do this gauntlet business, if that's okay with everybody.
14.
It's one of those things that when you recall the name of it, you know it first. You've heard of it, but you're not 100% certain as to why. You do know that it is under, like it would simply be part of King Shifer's reign, like domain. So it's under Burdan. Like it's you're not traveling kind of that it would cross the territories of either Kilcaharuk or Temple Glen. That it is part of the Burdan kingdom.
Okay.
But there's again, it's that thing of you're not 100% certain why you know it.
Oh. She's just, as the night goes on, she's just gonna get more and more impatient in her saddle and try and like slow her horse to a stop.
Give me an animal handling check.
Oh God. 11.
Again, you pull on the reins a little, like gently at first, but then a little bit more kind of firm to kind of, I suppose, take control. The horse doesn't slow, but as the sun begins to set, you find that their pace is a little slower. Like they're kind of they weren't quite galloping across the countryside, but they were running quite at a kind of a healthy, consistent speed. Now they're beginning to slow, and after a few minutes, and as the kind of the darkness kind of begins to settle, the horses are now in just a low trot, and they've moved slightly off the road, and they kind of hunker down in a small, very very small rocky clearing.
Why are the beasts moving over here?
I believe we're at their mercy as to when it's time to rest.
Croaker sent them, didn't
That would
he?
appear so, yeah.
Are they real horses or maybe funny horses?
I don't know if I
seem
want to
real
use a
enough to
spell
me.
slot to do that.
My steed has been less than humorous, so I think they're regular horses.
Oh.
They seem
Are they
normal to me
matching their
too.
riders, so?
I mean, a normal horse would listen when you tug on its reins. One would think.
Yaphi will try and tug on the reins.
Give me an animal handling check.
What should I go on my
That's
Yeah, naturally.
Did you get in that one?
Actually,
Yeah.
beautiful.
You yank on the horse's rein, and when you pull, it yanks, like it pulls kind of away, and you are now kind of Yaphi, it is that thing of like no, like you're the horse, I'm the rider, I'm the master, I'm in control, and you're now pulling back, the horse stands, and you all see Yaphi just sort of yanked up into the air, and it kicks back. Take 3 bludgeoning damage.
It kicked
It's-
me,
as
or
it
I'm still
kick-
on
like,
it?
It kicked you.
Oh, dee.
Yikes.
You're lucky it's only 3.
She's more kind of embarrassed than anything else, and she just will look away from the others and say, "Oh well, okay, I'm just getting the hang of it." And she will attempt to fly off the
Okay.
horse.
I want you to make a roll for it. It is that thing of like you let go of the rein and
Yeah.
you kind of flip back.
Okay, I think I'm done for the night.
Yeah.
Shall we make camp?
The horses
Yeah.
have all stopped naturally now, have they? So definitely. Okay, yeah, I just get off.
Yeah, I'd also just like
Like a
to
normal person.
gently and gracefully just slide right off there. Yeah.
I think that requires a roll.
No, they're
Declan.
fine. They're not yanking on the horse's reins or anything like that. They're not trying to make the horses, bow to their every whim. They're just sliding off.
I'd actually
Yeah.
like to do a backflip off the
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, you do that. No.
Oh, wankers, you're getting your revenge now, aren't you?
You find yourselves in kind of a very, very tight, rough patch of just grass and rocks. The horses have kind of just, as the rest of you climb off, and Yaphi, you come to land, you see that they've moved over to kind of one far corner, just kind of sheltered by thick brush and a small little earthen kind of outcropping.
I'm gonna attempt to cure them to fence tree. So
Did you say hear them?
secure them.
Oh, secure. I was like, first I heard you say hear them, and I was like,
Hear them.
what, like talking like horse? You're gonna horse whisper to them?
Yes, I am.
And then secondly, I heard you say cure them, and I was like, of their bad attitudes.
Well, it worked out,
Yeah.
So just go over and kick Yaphi in the head.
Yeah.
And the horses will like you. Yeah, you're just gonna try and like put up like a little.
Just so they don't like leave without us in the morning
Okay.
when they decide it's time to go.
There is some like branches and stuff like that you could kind of maybe secure the reins to.
Okay.
But
Can Yaphi attempt to gather like brush and stuff? That's the one thing that she's decent at when it comes to camping is making a
give
fire.
me a survival check.
As I say that. Oh, that's all right. Dirty 20.
You like it's because of where the horses seem to have come in off the road from. It doesn't take you long to find kind of dried branches and even kind of dried leaves and stuff like that. So you get enough kindling to kind of start a fire. And again, in a small little circle of stones, you make a small little campfire. When you do, you see that the horses kind of shift, like they kind of, from where they were lying down, they shift and they turn, and all of you see that their skin in the dark of night against the light, it actually shimmers. There's like a radiant shimmer from their skin, and their eyes seem to flitter or flick as if the fire itself is drawing their attention.
I told you they were funny horses. Look at them. Look at them. Everyone, look. What do we make of these things?
I mean,
if something does not glisten in reflection to a fire in the nighttime, what is it really?
Not
not
normal.
magical.
I think it's the least not normal thing we've seen over the past couple of days.
That's
All
fair.
right, fair enough. You can You can sleep near the horses, so Ira, off you go.
Can I
Oh,
go over
I'll come.
and check the horses' packs? Because you did say they were fully equipped, just to see if there's like bedrolls or tents or what did they have going on?
No, sorry. When I said like the horses were fully equipped, I meant like they had a saddle and reins.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they're not coming fully loaded here for a camping trip.
So it's whatever we've got in our own stash, then,
yes,
really.
that's what you have, I'm afraid. Yeah.
Excellent. I have an adventurer's pack.
I was trying to figure out the word for what's a word for a horse having like its horse gear on, and I was like, equipped. The horse is equipped.
It's bridle.
Bridle. Thank you. Yeah.
Tack.
It's tapped.
Tack.
Oh.
Isn't that?
Yeah, tack is
I-
equipment.
Have a shovel.
I have a blanket.
So, in order for you to sustain, or in order for you to have a long rest, you're going to need between the four of you to have equipment for this, like to be able to
Okay.
make a camp
Okay.
or some
Okay.
sort of ability or spell.
I think I have some sort of ability. I'm not sure.
Tiny hut. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's an adventure
I,
hut that I bring with me.
I have oil and a lamp. And a shovel.
I don't actually need to sleep. I just need to be inactive for 4 hours.
Okay,
Gonna
so
dig
Oh,
Ira
yeah,
just-
same
okay,
actually,
okay.
yeah.
You're at Anonce or Grand. They just need to go over to like one side and just schluck down.
I have a blanket that I will share with Yaphi.
I will give them my other blanket so they have it to keep.
No, we
themselves-
don't need it.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
It's a big blanket.
I understand, but just if you wanted an extra layer of warmth
Yeah.
on
No, I'm
top.
just kidding.
Take it. We can use
Yeah.
it as a pillow.
The horses look at you with little horse puppy eyes.
Thanks!
I will remember that.
Taryn, I don't like.
Um,
I don't really
They
like.
say from the
Yeah.
bush.
I don't know. Like,
Um,
are you going to sleep now straight away? Yeah.
No, Yaphi's gonna hunker down and like lie on her back beside Taryn, and then immediately turn on her side and be like, "So Taryn, we haven't really
I have
got
regrets.
to know each other yet,
Can I retcon?
and I feel now that we are sharing a blanket, we must have a good chat, shouldn't we, before we go to sleep?"
I think we should get as much rest as possible.
Oh, 5 minutes. You'll indulge me, won't you?
Fine.
Where are you from?
Around.
Around. Oh, very enigmatic. Can you narrow it down a little
This
bit?
side of the mountain.
Oh. And your business, what do you do day to day? You didn't really tell
I
me.
told you I'm a
I know, but that's very broad. Who do you work for at the moment?
Pays me the most money.
Goodness. Who have you worked for in the past? Anyone
That's
exciting?
classified.
Oh. And your weapon of choice, is it normally a branch that you've ripped off a dryad, or is there something else that you use?
It's whatever's sharpest in yours.
Fiona, take inspiration for that.
I mean, you're very handy with it, but I would have thought someone of your caliber with that lovely armor would have something a bit more suitable.
I have many weapons stashed around.
In the weapon caches that I put places.
Yeah. There's treasure chests all over this place, you know. They're randomly
Yeah,
generated.
she's very excited. She's on her stomach now, and she's giving it this, looking at you. Do you have brothers and sisters? I've got lots. They're really awful people. What about you? Are yours nice? Tell me about yours. Are you an only child? That would be lovely.
No.
No what? No brothers and sisters,
No, I'm
or
not an only child.
oh, how many do you have?
2.
2. I've got. Trying to rapidly remember what I said in the last episode. 16 of us.
God.
Oh, it's horrible.
Why?
Ask my parents. They were obviously very bored.
Cringes a bit at that. Are you the youngest?
Oh, I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm of middling importance to
That-
them, but
that's
that's
fair.
why I'm out here trying to make a name for myself, you know.
Right.
Mm.
Okay, so it's been
Do you want
5
to ask-
minutes. Good night.
Okay.
Yaphi, give me an insight check.
Oh.
Oh. Come on, baby. Yay, 17.
You've interviewed people before. You've interviewed people who are tight-lipped or, nervous about, speaking to a writer or a scholar. And you've just... There's something about Taryn and her responses. You get sort of a stirring, like something in your gut is telling you, and it's not something as blasé as, oh, she's hiding something. She's clearly hiding something, but she lied about something. You're not quite certain, but she lied about something.
Okay. Yaphi will like narrow her eyes, but like in a playful way. And she kind of gestures with a gloved hand, doing this towards Taryn's nose. I will figure you out. You just wait. Oh,
That's not worrisome at all.
oh. Well, that's me. Good night, everybody. Ira, good night.
Good night.
Anonce. Oh, Marigold, good night.
You're muted, Emma.
Is that on purpose?
A little bit, yeah. She'll just say, have a sweet slumber. I hope you rise in the morning.
Oh, this is all very exciting. What a weird group we are. Okay, good night.
While the two of those are
And she will-
drifting off, I turn to Anonce and I'm like, do you want to sleep now or later? Because I don't need that long. I can keep an eye on everything. And then wake you up and then you could keep an eye on everything. Or I would rest now and you keep an eye on everything and then you wake me and everything.
She's like, what? Keep watch?
Taryn, what's going on? Oh,
Was that on purpose?
I mean, I'm all for committing to a bit. But...
Oh my gosh.
Taryn. Oh my god, look at the stream. It's just my face. I'm again.
Everybody's worst nightmare.
Do we have a look?
I'm still in frame.
How on earth did that happen? This is what I so needed right now, all the laughs. Yes, this is 100%
welcome.
on purpose, Zerog. I hope you're okay.
Everybody levels up except Emma for her shenanigans.
Okay, I fixed that.
There you-
Okay, so we will assume that Anonce is going to take second watch.
Okay, if at all.
And we can kind of go from there then. So, Ira, you're on first watch.
Perfect.
Oh, her computer. She has to restart her computer. She'll be back.
That's okay.
Oh, poor dear. So she's going into forced watch now if she doesn't make it back in time.
Which is that's happening anyway. So, yeah. Is there anything you want to do in the 4 hours that you are awake first?
Yeah, so like I guess besides kind of keeping an eye on everything and keeping the fire kind of stocked and things like that, I am going to take like a stick or something and I'm going to try and recall, like a map of Portach to see if I can remember any details, like where the roads were and stuff.
Okay.
And there's a river, like just doodling on the ground to see if anything will come to my memory.
Give me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, jeepers.
Thanks. And also Zero, I did just realize that it was meant to be 0G. I don't know why I said Zero. I think I'm playing too much D&D. But I will put an NPC in there somewhere now called Zerog, I promise.
13.
Okay, on a 13. You were trying to recall what you remember of...
Just the village looked like the
Okay.
layout.
I tell you what. There's a couple of things that you remember. So the road that you're on is the right road. Like, you're traveling in the right direction.
Okay.
But what you don't quite recall about it is like any other roads. You do remember like there was one main eastern road that you would have traveled to get to Portach, but past that or beyond that, you're not quite certain. And other thing that you know or recall rather is on a 13. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do, right? Since it's the space that you feel you're kind of drawn to, or whatever it might
Okay.
be. What does Ira remember? What does the soul remember about Portach? Because it was the soul who had the reaction to the name, the place name.
I guess when I imagine it, when I heard the name, was a village, a very small village, on the edge of a woods. Um, I'd say at most maybe 9 or 10 different families that grew up there, and that the majority of the work that they did in their trade was with sheep's wool. They would raise sheep and shear them and make wool, and trade that. That's kind of what I picture in my head from it.
Okay, so with that, we'll say the soul remembers. Again, Ira remembers Portach being this very kind of small, rural little hamlet. Again, though, and welcome back, Emma. You didn't get to take first watch. Ira took first watch. Anonce. It was perfect timing, really, because we were just like, Anonce is in stunned silence that they have been asked to take watch, and we just thought you were really committing to a bit.
Sorry, yeah. It's just like you all froze, and then I was like, "Am I frozen?" And then I couldn't hear anything, and then I was like, "Oh no, they're still talking to me." And yeah, apologies, but okay. So I really wanted to talk to Ira because she'd be obsessed with her. But okay,
Okay, no, we can say between the two watches, we can still have that.
Yep.
Like, as Ira wakes you from hers, yeah, we can do it that way. So yeah, you recall this information about Portach, but
Okay.
beyond that, beyond how like why you know that, you don't know.
It kind of feels more like a dream than like, is it real? Is it not real? I suppose is the way.
Yes,
Would
yeah.
it be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else you want to do while you're on watch?
That was it really, just to try and see if I could remember
Okay,
anything.
so yeah, just to recap, you remember that there was kind of one main road in the village. You remember that like it was a small rural little kind of antiquated place. There was a couple of families. Like it wasn't as big as my vein. Certainly, it was like a small little village in the middle of nowhere. They sustained a living on sheep farming. And yeah, that's kind of it. And again, your relationship to the place, you don't quite know. You feel sort of the night air on your skin, And it's cold, or at least what you remember cold to be. Like, you don't feel either the warmth or the cold of the weather. But there is a sensation just sort of below the surface that you're trying to almost recall. And you hear kind of one of the horses whinny in its sleep a small bit. And then you realize that, a couple of hours has passed with you kind of lost in thought, lost in memory, when you reckon it's time to stir Anonce for their watch.
I throw the last couple of sticks that I was kind of just twiddling around onto the fire, and I stand up and I go over to where Anonce is lying down, and I just place my hand on her shoulder and just give her a gentle rock to wake her.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry, was that too sudden?
Oh no, it's just frightfully cold.
Oh, sorry. I'll make sure to cover my hands next time.
Do. Could I before you tattle off to your slumber, could I ask a question?
Of course.
Are you dead?
I was.
What is death?
Oh dear.
A deer?
Oh no. I have a few books from the Temple of Boss that we do hand out to people if you would like to take one to read about the whole philosophy behind death and what life is like after death.
Could you read it? Could you read it to me?
I could read some of it to you, but I do want to rest also.
Oh, it's okay. I'm rested. Just a verse or two.
God damn you!
I just got this image of Aoire with pamphlets. So you could
So yes, so you're about to die.
It's like the manual for Beetlejuice.
So you failed your death saves.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Well, I guess, and I pull out one of the books to give you. I guess to make a synopsis of it all is to not be afraid of it, because it isn't an end, it's a continuation. And if anything, it gives meaning to what we have here right now, and that we should value the moments that we have right now.
Yes.
It's a scary thing for a lot of people. Some get lost in anger and sorrow, and then others embrace it. So it doesn't discriminate against what emotion you want to feel towards it.
Okay. I feel like I'm in the choir you're preaching to. But what I would really like to know is, how do I say it? How do I live in death?
What?
How could I die and not?
Oh, you're afraid.
Oh no, no, quite the opposite. Quite excited about it, actually.
Well, I mean, if you wanted to give over your soul eternally for devotion towards Boss, I mean, you could come back the same way I have and be a spiritual guide to those who need it.
I like the first part of that, but not the second. I think that I follow Ulk, who is my town and the world's, I think, savior, who has died and come back. And while they are great and have shown us a lot of interesting philosophies, they have never allowed me to become what they are.
You want to be a god?
No. I mean, yes, but I don't think that can I.
I've never heard of it. The gods were at the beginning and are eternal, so I've never heard
Yeah,
of
no,
anyone
me either,
becoming a god.
Sorry, I just thought you might know something there, and I got excited. But no, it's fine. No, they're vampiric.
Oh. Are you?
No, and not for lack of trying.
Are you approaching the end of your life? Is this why you're so nervous about death?
No.
Because you look much younger than I give you credit for.
Oh, thank you. It's a lot of serum.
Look, I just work for boss, for the temple, for the people. So this is probably not a question I can help you answer, but you might find something in this, and I hand over one of the books that maybe give you the answers that you're looking for.
And she'll take it and skim through and pick a page and be like, could you just this one?
Good night, Anonce. Emma, don't you do that to me.
She's gonna not take watch, but will read the book.
That's everywhere and not a drop to drink.
Thankfully, Anonce, the rest of the night rather passes without any form of distraction or disturbance. Not that you'd have been aware of or prepared for, because you were lost in the pamphlet. The evening passes with no disturbance on the camp. The horses rise with the sun, and they're making quite a racket. Aoire, Yaphi, and Taryn, loud enough to sort of perturb you from your slumber. And does anybody have anything they'd like to kind of do before we set off on the road again?
Yaphi will have to disentangle herself from Taryn, because Taryn will soon find out she is not someone that's comfortable to sleep beside, and she would have kind of rolled herself in on top of you in the middle of the night, and she kind of mumbles to herself in her sleep, hey, Mother, no, I promise I'll make something of myself. Mother, no, sorry. So I can't imagine that we've slept very well.
give her a good hooshing there.
Oh yeah, go on. Lovely morning hoosh.
No, I think
Taryn,
what are you gonna do?
Taryn's just gonna unpeel her limbs from her. Sit up properly.
Yeah, Yaphi will just kind of stand up. Oh, lovely morning, everyone. Let's get going. Back on our trusty steeds, and she's going to just kind of side-eye the horses. Taryn, do you want to swap? And you could have the one I had, maybe. Please.
Why?
I don't think my one likes me.
Fine.
Oh,
Are they all the same size?
They're almost, the four horses are almost identical.
Fine.
Oh, thank you. I will figure you out as well, Taryn. Oh, it's very exciting. I love a challenge. Anyway, let's all go and do this lovely task for the Mad King and get the gauntlet.
All four horses are just staring at you, Yaphi.
Who wants to come with me? Anyone? Any of the horses coming towards me?
They're not coming at you threateningly around like that, but
they're snapping their fingers in formation.
Yeah, they're
I promise
just
I
yeah,
will
they're
behave
just
myself.
sort of they're just like, it's the thing that they're wherever you kind of move, their eyes kind of follow as well.
Oh no. Oh, that's
Like a
creepy.
painting.
Yeah.
Oh,
She'll select whichever one's kind of coming nearest to her and just put a hand out and let her have a sniff. Hello. I promise to behave myself if you behave yourself.
it doesn't make any it again. All four have now moved towards the edge of the camp, back towards the road.
Okay. She'll fly and land on the saddle and wait. Hopefully it won't move and wait for the others.
Okay, everybody else is just kind of climbing onto the horse and heading off. Okay.
Yep.
With all four of you sort of settled and saddled, the horses move off again, matching their pace from yesterday. They trundle down the road rather quickly, with intent and purpose. And as the sun begins to kind of rise again, and you see that the morning is settling, there's a kind of a small haze of fog that tumbles across the fields, and the stone walls that sort of dart and line and scar the landscape. It's mostly wild terrain around you, wild fields and woods. And in the distance, you can just see the outline of a tiny sliver of smoke sort of pouring up, and you can see. I mean, you can see a village, but it doesn't look. It looks relatively abandoned. At this hour of the morning, you would expect to see people out on the road. You'd expect to see farmers in the fields, even. If this is Portach, then Portach is a shell of itself.
And are the horses making their way
They're
towards
heading in
it?
that direction. The road is leading ye and them this way.
I'm looking quite confused on forward, and I'm like, this is different.
You saying that out loud?
Mm. But kind of to myself a little bit as well. Not really to anyone in particular.
Different? How do you mean?
And then realizing I'm in company. Oh, sorry. I think I know this place. But it just...
Oh.
It's not how I remember it, I think.
Well, how long has it been?
I don't know. But it looks different.
Do you remember anybody from the town that you could talk to?
There was a couple of other families, I think. But I can't recall faces or names.
Well, it's a bit unnerving how quiet it all is. I mean, I'm sure if that's what you like in a lovely rural village, wonderful, but...
Well, it was...
I think it's glorious.
Oh, okay, yes.
It was all... Ooh.
It's the candle coming to get you.
It was always small, but I don't remember it ever being that quiet.
Should we be cautious? Taryn,
I
do you
think
want
that would be wise.
you maybe go ahead, Taryn, would be a good idea?
Not the stealthiest.
Yeah, but you're the most...
I will.
Oh,
Okay, I'll go and put the hand out to stop her.
Anonce, the marigold should be last. We should announce your presence. So you go to the back, I think.
No, you're clearly all nervous, and I can teach you about confidence in the future, but I'm going to just try. And will my horse actually move faster than the others, Declan, if they're all sort of magically in sync?
You're all riding the members of NSYNC.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got kicked in the head by Justin. Yeah, you do try and stir the horse to kind of move faster a little bit, and Anonce, but it doesn't. It like they are all kind of moving pace, at the same pace. But it is that thing of maybe where you even kind of start to lean out a little bit, kind of ahead of, over the horse. So now technically, I guess you're ahead of Taryn, because you were leaning forward a little bit more, but the horse doesn't respond to you sort of like nudging it or trying to kick it up into a gallop around at that. It doesn't seem to want to follow your orders.
How far
Okay.
out are we?
You're still some distance. You're still maybe about 10-15 minutes, and the road is going downhill towards this, nestled behind the village. And Aoire, it's as you kind of recall. It's this sort of hilly landscape with sort of long tumbling fields that are very much overgrown. You do see in the distance, close to that house, with the ignore that ominous hand that just came in and turned on the lights. I was starting to slowly go blind. Thank you. But you do see next to that one house with the sort of the small little skinny pillar of smoke kind of coming from a chimney, one field that is still tended to, and there are a handful of sheep still in it. The rest of the fields are completely and totally overgrown. The walls that kind of mark the boundaries of them are mossy and dilapidated.
It doesn't.
Stunning.
It is, but it's not as busy as it used to be. Not that it was like a city, but I mean, it's after getting so overgrown. Sorry, I don't know what else to say.
Well, I mean, let's get going. Just be on our pod, no?
I think that's wise.
Really? You agree with me, Taryn?
Stranger things have happened.
Oh, okay, off you go. Anonce, you just wait there.
I don't think I can. All our horses seem to want to go together. Little Lance Bass here won't go any faster.
Yeah, Yaphi will just let herself be led.
Okay. The road, again, there's a little wear and tear on it, but as you draw closer to the village, not only are the walls that mark some of those sprawling fields that are now overgrown and sort of just given over or reclaimed by nature and the woodlands beyond, the houses themselves are in disrepair. A lot of them, either the parts of the building, the infrastructure itself, have collapsed in on. There isn't anybody in the yards. You don't see smoke coming from any of the other chimney stacks. There's a small well in the center of the village, and this is kind of where the horses lead the four of you to, but they don't go any further. You can hear a little further up the road towards that house that's just sitting atop a small little crest on a hill. You can hear some commotion coming from up there, but where you are, Portach it's abandoned.
Is there any house that would stand out where we are, kind of in the square or whatever you call it, that's bigger than most? Like Yaphi would be drawn to kind of a town hall or a tavern or something like that. Is there anything that stands out? Are they all kind of uniform?
They're all small little stone and timber cottages. None of these look like a tavern or a shop or anything. They literally just look like dwelling spaces. They look like small little houses.
Okay. With the horses stopped, Yaphi's going to fly off and land beside it and give it a tentative, oh, thank you, pat on the neck, and step away from it and wait for the others to. I was going to say disembark, like they're planes.
Where's my stair?
Taryn's gonna disembark and just kind of put a grateful hand on the horse's mane and then do a little divine sense. I think the range is 60 feet, so too far,
Okay.
but
I
our immediate surroundings.
While they're doing that, I'm going to dismount as well, and I'm going to go over to one of the closest dilapidated cottages and have a look around.
Okay.
See if I can stir any more.
Okay. And Yaphi and Anonce?
I'm gonna stay on my horse, and have a little trot around to see if I can see anything
Okay.
out of the ordinary or anyone
Okay.
alive.
So
or
you're
anything
going to
like that.
stay on the horse and just kind of like try and maneuver a small bit. Yeah, the horse doesn't seem to want to go too far from the well, but you can move it like it seems to as you kind of want to go in a direction, it seems to kind of travel that way. And you are kind of surveying. You can give me a perception check if you want, and then Yaphi.
For sure.
She'll take a moment. She'll just stand once she's backed away from the horse a little bit and pull out her manuscript, and she's going to just take a quick sketch of the town itself.
Okay, 16 on the
16.
perception. Investigation. What did you get, Ira?
My investigation. Sorry, yeah. 12.
Okay, and then Taryn, what's your divine sense? What are you looking for?
Just like any sort of supposed threats, I suppose, or like signs of life. I know there's the smoke coming from the chimney, but is there anyone else like alive out there?
Hang on. So with divine sense, you're kind of like it is sort of a, and again I could be reading this absolutely arseways. Good
It's
and
like
evil.
detect
Yeah.
good and evil. Yeah.
There's again when you reach out, and I'll work backwards, all right? Because we started with turn, and we'll work back. When you sort of just kind of take a breath in, and as you sort of draw on the air around you, it's a very, very quiet moment you take, and in your immediacy, like here in the center of the village, up on the hill almost, you don't get a sense of anything good or evil. Like there's like it's just there's commotion coming from up ahead, but it's not a threat. There's no malice. And it is that thing of just as you sort of like exhale, on the end of that breath, at the edge of where you can reach, where you can sense, where you can touch, there's something dark. And you're standing in the middle. With an investigation check, Ira, as you sort of move up to one of the houses, again, you're not moving too far away from the group, from the gang. There's a small yard just close to the well, and here you can see that part of the roof has actually collapsed in. That the building, the walls itself are intact, but just part of the ceiling seems to have just fallen in, and it's mostly thatched, so it's just in disrepair, really. Kind of looking into the house through the kind of the open door, the windows, there isn't a pot, there isn't a cloth that you can see. Everything seems to be gone from the house. It's just four walls and a crumbling ceiling.
I just take a moment to look around it, and then I turn back towards the other three.
Okay. And then, sorry, Anonce, what was your perception check? What did you roll for your... Was it 16? Okay.
'Twas,
Yeah.
yep.
Again,
16.
you maneuver the horse a little bit, and it moves, we'll say, closer, like, or further into the village, kind of towards that road upwards and the house. And the commotion you could hear some way away has gotten a little bit louder, and you can hear children. You can hear the sheep, but you can hear children kind of running around and laughing. You can't see any of them, but it's coming from up on the hill with the house and the smoke.
Can I assume that the horse isn't really playing ball where I want it to go?
It drifted a little bit, but it's still sort of close to the well.
Okay. She's going to slide off the horse elegantly and dramatically and be like, whoop, thanks, Lance. And head up and kind of, whilst loudly shouting towards, like, at the others, but still facing towards the house, being like, children are this way. I'm going to check it out.
What?
And she's like sauntering off.
Okay.
Hearing Anonce doing that as I'm like walking back out of the house, I'm like, oh no. And I start walking behind her to follow her on.
Okay. And Yaphi? Yeah.
Yaphi's having a snack.
Yaphi's okay. So just have a little munch. After she's finished sketching out the village that she can see and hearing Anonce's shout to say that there's people up there, she'll kind of come to her senses again and pop her manuscript back in her bag and skip along ahead and run up after the others.
Okay.
She doesn't want to be left alone down there.
4 members of N6 just staring you out of it. And Taryn, you are kind of going, so you all kind of, okay. So yeah, not wanting to let Anonce, do her thing. The 4, you catch up, and you again, it's slightly uphill. Like there's a slight incline up, and Anonce, as you kind of announced that there were children up there and you were going to go investigate, the laughing and the kind of the chatter kind of came to stop. And just as the 4 of you come round to the side of this hill, you are looking into a small farmer's yard and hut, and standing there, just kind of holding a pitchfork, a small little lamb kind of tucked under one arm, and 2 children kind of half hiding behind him. You see a half-elf man, maybe late 20s, early 30s, kind of a stocky build, and just sort of sandy brown hair, just kind of looking at the 4 of you.
Yoo-hoo!
Good morning.
Hello.
Morning.
Are you in charge here?
No.
Oh, can you direct us to, I don't know, the town mayor or magistrate or someone that we could
We don't
talk
got
to?
one of those, and we don't got one of those either.
Oh, okay. Where is everybody? It's very unusual to have a town so quiet. It's lovely, but strange.
It's just us.
What happened?
No, folks just left. Hard
Why?
to make a living in land that doesn't want to grow anything.
It's barren.
Poetic.
Who are you?
Travelers?
Probably best you keep traveling then. There's not.
Why did you
and
stay?
he kind of gestures with his head kind of back over towards the house, and there's a small cart that is about half loaded. Won't be staying for much longer.
So this is a recent thing?
It's been a while, but
Does the king know?
I reckon he does.
And he didn't send any aid.
To do
The the king is a very, very dear friend of mine. I'll send a request and see him again.
right. Is there something I can help the four of you folks with, or
Are there kids playing
no?
in
The
the
kids are
yard
now kind of
as
tucked
he's
behind
speaking?
him, kind of, and it's a little boy and a little girl, and they're half elf.
What what happened to all the families who did live here? Did they just like how long? I'm sorry. How long have you been alone in the village?
Oh well, you said you're friends with the king.
Yes,
Mm.
besties.
And are we in trouble?
No, no, no.
No, there's a Gauntlet
Oh,
saga that I'm
Christ.
not quite really interested in. What do we need? What do we need again?
Well, Anonce is putting her foot in it again. Can Yaphi go over and see if she can like pull together like a few little pebbles and like a stick, and she's going to kind of side eye the kids behind their dad and say, "Come here, over here."
I'm sorry
Creepy.
to
It can be a persuasion check there, Yeffy. With your stick and
It's fun.
stones.
It's fun.
Are you gonna break their bones?
Hopefully
Ah,
not.
yeah.
16.
So it's a little boy and a little girl, and they're about the same height, and they look about the same age to you, Yaffe. And as you're sort of like trying to kind of get their attention, the little girl kind of winces a little bit, like she's like you're dressed so differently to anything that she's ever seen before. But the boy is kind of, it's that like, yep, I'm the boy, I'm the tough one, he's the shorter of the two. Uh, he just sort of like he leans kind of further away from his dad and his dad's side to you, but he's not moved towards you.
She won't like be staring at them, but she's gonna be setting down the pebbles and the stones kind of dotted randomly around the yard. And it's all quite boring when the grown-ups talk, isn't it? I used to play this with my brothers and sisters, and I was quite good at it. I bet you can't beat my score. It's called Sticks and Stones. Do you
I
want
know how
to
to play
play?
that.
Oh,
He's
well
lying. He doesn't
then,
know how to play that at
come on
all. He's
then.
lying. He's always lying. He doesn't know how to play that at all. He's just a big liar.
Well, I mean, let's show each other. Let's see who's going to win. You just throw the stick up and see how many stones you can pick up the quickest, and whoever has the most before the stick lands is the winner. Shall we play?
And the kids kind of look at each other, and then they look at their dad. Okay, but you keep the stones away from the house, you two. And he kind of looks down at the two of them, and he looks back at us at just a newly mended window.
What?
Oh, none near the house. You heard your father. Come on now, let's just go really quickly.
What?
Away from the others. The boring talk. Come on.
Okay. Okay, so the both of them kind of maneuver. They both again, now that they've kind of come a little bit closer. Yaffe, they're twins, and they're identical. Both with sort of the same sort of dusty brown hair that their father has. You can see the points of their ears just kind of tucked behind the back of their head almost. And they're both wearing very, very simple, kind of like dark forest green pants. The boy is wearing a shirt, and the girl is kind of wearing a long sort of overdress that sort of hangs just above the knee a little bit. And the clothes are well patched and maintained, but they do look a little old. And they start to play with you.
I'm Yaphi. What's your names?
They look at each other, We're not supposed to talk to strangers.
Oh, well, let's play a game together and then we won't be strangers anymore. And she's going to toss the stick up in the air and make
Okay,
for the
give
pebbles.
me a dex saving throw.
Watch her eat shit in front of these kids.
Okay.
14.
So we're gonna round. So we'll half what you roll on the d20 down. So you take a stick and you chuck
Okay.
it up into the air, not too high. You're not, you're not trying to show off or anything. And the rest of you watch as Yaphi darts around the yard, like picking up stones. You've picked up 7, so remember that number. I will roll for the other. I will roll for the 2 kids momentarily. Ira, you were speaking to the father.
Yeah, I just kind of look at him. I was like, I'm sorry to bombard you and my friends to bombard you with questions. My name is Ira. I'm from the Temple of Boss.
He nods. He bows his head as you say that.
I have memories of this place from my past life, so I know what this village used to be like. I know that there was families here and that wool was traded, and there was a very close little community. So I I guess I'm wondering is how long has the village been so quiet? Did you grow up here?
He looks at you and he puts the lamb down and it skirts around the yard and Yaphi kind of runs over towards you as you're picking up the sticks and it's now kind of it knocks you with its head a little, but it kind of flits off into the field when the kids give it a kind of they kind of jeer at it a little. The entire time he's kind of maintaining eye contact with you, Ira, especially after saying, you've memories of it, and then you mention a past life, and he's like, oh, okay. My wife and I, we came here a year ago to take care of my granduncle. And he kind of gestures at the house. He's the last Portach original.
May I speak to him?
He doesn't really talk anymore.
I'm sorry.
Do you know what really gets people talking? Is a little song. Is there a song he likes so he can just warm up his vocals?
Where are my manners? Would you? And he kind of looks at kind of Yaphi. Would the 3 of you maybe like some tea? We just had breakfast, but I'm sure there's some cheese and some bread left.
I appreciate it. I'm okay. I don't know about my friends, but thank you for the offer. I do appreciate it. I'm sorry we just showed up and bombarded you with questions straight away. We are here. We are looking for something on behalf of the king. And
What kind of cheese?
It's just a simple sheep's cheese.
I accept.
We don't want to eat into your rations.
It's fine. And again, my wife, Karis, probably not too pleased with me if I didn't at least offer you that. And with that, a woman appears kind of at the doorway, and she has kind of a large kind of pot in hand, like a clay pot, and she's kind of she was hauling it out towards the cart when she sees the group of you and the kids running around, and she's saying, "Oh, Arik, visitors?" And he nods to her. Well, then, when the kids tire out your friend, she can join us, but won't the rest of you come in for some tea, I'm sure we've got some. And she kind of looks at it over her shoulder. There's enough to go around. We can have, and Arik kind of just nods to his wife. I'm going to be out in just the high field. Shout if you need anything. And Gareth just kind of smiles to him, and she kind of looks at the three of you. Please, and she gestures for you to come in.
I walk in slowly and give her a nod and say thank you.
Okay, so Ira is going in. Anybody else? Okay.
Yep.
So the first of the two kids, Chris, goes first, the little boy, and he rolled a 16, so that is 8 stones. He has picked up 8 stones. He is now he had all 8 and he chucked them up into the air. And then he ran around trying not to get hit as they fell back to the ground. But he kind of threw them up and away from him. So yeah, he's
Okay.
not a total Egypt. I'll roll for Maru. Is there anything you want to do, Yaphi, while you're out playing with the kids?
I just want to be chatting with them. Have they told me their names or no?
So, yeah,
Not yet.
We'll say while Chris is now fetching he's looking for his 8 stones that he found. It's just you and the little girl. And she points at her brother. That's Chris, and I'm Maru.
Oh, nice to meet you. I'm Yaphi.
Yeah.
Throw the stick, Maru, and see how many you get.
Okay. Maru takes the stick and she just kind of chucks it forward, like not so much up as her brother did or you did, Yaphi. She kind of just chucks it forward. That was my hand slipped.
Can Yaphi cast prestidigitation and poof it up into the air with some wind? Oh, no, go quick! You've got some time.
She runs around and she grabs a couple of stones and she comes back to you. I didn't get as many stones as Chris did. She got 3, but mine are bigger than his.
Yaphi's going to take a. How many did
8,
Chris get? 8. She'll take a. All of hers. She'll take no bar 1. She'll keep 1, and she'll kind of put them behind her back. Quickly, take them quickly.
She'll roll for sleight of hand. Oh, she's pretty good at that. She got a 16. She did. She'll
get a wink.
I
know what brothers are like, so you can rub that in his face a little bit, okay?
She looks at the rocks. She's like, "These in his face."
No. Just the number, the amount. Oh, there's so many, Chris. Wow, your sister's such a talent at sticks and stone, though.
And yeah, she does. She looks incredibly smug with herself. Like, yeah, I got more than you did, Chris. But that's because you were a stupid boy.
Yaphi will kind of start busy herself putting the stones back down on the ground. And so, Maru, you're leaving Portach with your daddy, are you?
My mum and dad said we have to go because this place isn't a good place.
Oh. Do you not think it's a good place yourself?
And she looks at you. Give me a persuasion check with advantage.
Okay. Ooh! 23.
Well, I mean, Chris is scared of them, but I don't think I don't think it's that scary.
Scared of what now? Sorry, Maru, I don't understand.
Well, we told my mom and my dad that, and she kind of looks around, but they said it wasn't because of what we said. They just said that the farm is sick and the ground is sick and it's not good for. And she points down at the field, the sheep. So that's why we have to go.
Oh, these things happen, but is there something that caused it? just so my friends and I know. I'm a traveler, Maru, and I go all about the place. And I mean, I don't really like scary things either. So if there's something out there that we should know about, I think it would be very nice of you if you told us, just so we can not get caught
No,
out by it.
I don't think it's them. They they said that they're nice. So and Chris doesn't believe them, but I I I think it would be fun to go play with them.
Oh, but maybe they're good at sticks and stones, and maybe you could describe them to me, so if I see them, I could ask them to play.
And she looks a little kind of embarrassed.
I won't tell your daddy. I promise.
I don't know what they look like.
What do you mean you can only hear them?
And she nods her head.
What do they say to you, Maru?
They say that me and Chris should go outside and play with them.
Oh, well, I mean, your mummy and daddy probably tell you not to do
And
that,
she
don't
nods
they?
again.
And it's very important to listen to them. I know it's hard sometimes, but I mean, if these creatures don't show themselves, that's not very nice, is it? It's a bit rude, actually.
They
So-
say that they live in the woods and that they can only play in the woods, and we're not allowed to go in there.
What woods exactly,
And
Maru?
she
Show
just
me.
points kind of to a tree line just at the edge of the house.
Okay.
Give me a
And do I kind of get a sense from
yeah.
her, like, is she...
No,
oh,
you're fine. You
okay,
go
go on.
ahead. You go ahead. You go ahead.
Do I get a sense from her that she is a little scared, or...
It's that sort of childhood innocence. It's that like, there's a little bit of hesitance, but there's also that sort of like, this is something new and something exciting, and it's a secret, and she's kind of, so it's not 100%. She doesn't seem afraid of them. It seems to be more a case of a fear of the something new and unknown.
Yaphi will hunker down and just take one of her hands in hers and say, now, Maru, listen
I like
to
your
me. This is
gloves.
very important, okay?
Can
Oh,
I have
thank
one?
you. I know they're very nice, aren't they? In a moment, let me just finish this.
Just trying to slip one off your
It's
hand.
quite... Yaphi will grip it. I'll give you... If you listen to me carefully, I'll give you a nice
Chris,
gift,
I'm
okay?
getting a gift and you're not getting a gift, even though it's probably because I got more stones than you. And then Chris just shouts up from the bottom of the earth, "That's not fair! I want a gift as well."
Oh, you'll get one, Chris. Maru, listen to me. And she'll kind of like tug at her hand insistently. Don't go in those woods and don't listen to those creatures, okay? Do you understand me? It's very important.
Uh-huh.
Promise me. Pinky promise.
I can't.
You have to, or else I can't give you the nice gift and we'll have
No,
to
'cause
stop
I
playing
have,
our
I have
game.
dirty hands. You've such nice gloves on. So if you give me one of your gloves, then I
Oh.
won't. I would have. I can do a fancy pinky promise.
I will give you the glove for 1 minute and then you must give it back.
Yeah.
Oh. And what do her hands look like right now
they're
where they
she's
fell?
got just mucky hands because she was picking up stones and she was playing with her brother in the yard and stuff like that. Yeah. So
Yaphi will like her non-dominant hand. She'll give her the glove off her left hand and say and help
she
her
full
slip
on just
it on.
like jams her arm into the glove.
Oh my goodness! Oh, it's leather. It's
Look,
Joe leather.
Look, Chris.
Oh.
I'm a fancy lady. Oh, I'm the queen. I'm the queen of Portach.
Okay, and only queens pinky promise, don't they, Maru?
No,
and
a
they
queen
keep
doesn't
their
pinky
word.
promise anybody because she's the queen.
Yaphi will like grip her wrists like firmly. Maru, listen to me. You are not going into those woods. All right?
Yeah.
Good. Now, let's keep playing, shall we?
Okay.
Can I try and slip the glove back off her hand?
Give me a sleight of hand. So she's gonna do a dex save. Okay. She
14.
got an 11. She is holding on to it, and you slip it off her hand. And she's like, "That's not fair. You said I could have it for a minute."
I did,
No, it's
and then
not.
Minute
It's
says,
not
"Oh,
been a
but look, I
minute.
can give." Listen, okay,
That would be
Yaffy's gonna
10
go
rounds of
big
combat.
sister mode.
That would be 10 rounds of combat.
Listen to me now. I'll give you something even better, okay? And she's gonna pull out one of her. She's gonna regret this. She's gonna pull out one of her ink pots and one of her crappy quills, not her fancy one that she keeps in her hat, but a crappy quill. Well, hopefully she doesn't think it's crappy, and a few sheafs of like kind of old battered parchment that she wouldn't use anymore. This is special paper and really special ink, and you can draw wonderful things on it with it. So you
I'm
can
going to draw
keep
you.
that. Oh, okay, that
Yeah.
sounds lovely. Yes, I'm sure it'll be
Oh, it's going to be
delightful.
real
You do that.
delightful. Okay. Before we head inside, we are going to take a quick break. So, for everybody at home, remember to get up, stretch, hydrate, go to the potty if you need to go to the potty. Draw. Maybe you're going to draw Yaphi. I might attempt to draw Yaphi very, very quickly. So we will see you in a couple of minutes. We'll see you in about 10 minutes. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you back here in a couple of minutes. I forgot I was a producer, that I was the person that had to hit the button. So that's why that got weird. Bye.
live.
Yeah,
with her
we're back live.
singing
I just
that.
decided to go back live straight away. Sorry, Fiona. It was too good.
Don't worry, I'm comfortable.
Just
Beautiful.
make it happen. I just went back live. Welcome back. Sorry, I know there was a few seconds left there, but it was worth it to catch Fiona. She still hasn't moved.
No, I haven't. Making a
She's
She's
point.
enjoying her designated 10-minute break. Get the union on the phone.
Hello, I'm from HR.
Oh no, not
My
again.
Toblerone.
Fun fact, if your break is interrupted in Ireland, you have to start it again from scratch.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm gonna break this like Eilish told me.
I wouldn't
pushing the
trust
two
that on
pieces
Louise
together.
there now. She's been fired from so many jobs from
Have
restarting
not.
her breaks.
Okay, Eilish, I'm gonna trust you on this. Push them together, yes?
Yeah.
That's one way to do it.
Oh god, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. It came from the fridge and it just shattered.
Amazing. That was beautiful.
Oh,
Great job.
It's off by
Proud of you.
keyboard.
So if you accidentally quit the call, we know why. And yes, someone should clip that for us as well. Yeah, we need that. Maybe Toblerone will sponsor us. Welcome back. We left Anonce, Aoire, Yaphi, and Taryn in the company of a small in the company of a farming family here in Portach, the only residence of the village that is in disrepair and abandonment. While Yaphi was talking to the kids, Chris and Maru outside, Anonce, Taryn, and Aoire followed Karis, a human woman, into the cottage. And inside, you do see it's kind of a quaint little setup in the actual house itself. The sort of the main area that you're in is the dining room and the kind of the kitchen area. There's two doors off to either side, and the doors are open, and you can see that there is they look like bedrooms. They look like two small sort of bedrooms that are fixed here. There's a small fireplace on the southern wall, and you can see a kind of a small little fire burning away inside it with a little pot over it. Karis puts out a few bowls and plates on a table and some cups, and she pours you all just some black nettle tea. In the corner next to the fireplace, sort of sitting there very, very quietly, almost motionless, there is a frail, old half-elf man, just kind of staring into the fire, kind of just not really reacting or responding to... He didn't acknowledge ye when you came in, and Karis didn't kind of seem to pay him any mind either. Just, if you set yourselves there now, and what brings the four? And she kind of looks out the window at the kids. She'll be all right, right?
Yeah, she's fine. She's harmless.
No, okay, well, but she can handle herself. I'm kidding. The kids are fine. They're angels. They're lovely. They're sweet little cherubs. What brings the four of you to Portach?
Well, it all started probably during the Mayflower of My Boy festival. Have you heard of it?
She kind of looks at you a little, Anonce.
Of course you have, and I won. And you'd be delighted to know that I'm here in your very humble house. What we're looking for is I'm so
Humble?
not sure. No, I'm not humble. No. We're looking for a gauntlet or a matching one to the other. What? Help me out here, boss. She looks over at you, Aoire.
Did you just ask boss for help?
No, you're like boss, like your follower of.
Okay, my name is Ira, though. Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, she's going to stare at you, smiling.
Sorry, we're here on the behest of the king. We're looking for the sister gauntlet to a gauntlet of the sun. Cogagh's gauntlet.
And you think that's here?
We think so.
Not really.
Maybe?
Well,
I'm not sure.
glad His
we were
Majesty
sent
has
this
the
way.
resources to waste on the hunt for a gauntlet that may or may not be here in Portach.
Oh, we're not getting anything from His Majesty for this.
We weren't really given a choice.
I see.
So, have you heard anything about one?
It doesn't really... And she kind of looks over towards the fireplace. Look, we only moved here when Arik received a letter that his granduncle was refusing to leave Portach. That was about 18 months ago.
Is that when everyone else started leaving?
Everybody was
Or
already gone by the time we got here. I don't know when people started to leave. And she kind of looks around. We're leaving in a couple of days ourselves. There's not much here, and she kind of drifts her gaze over towards the fireplace. Look, I haven't heard anything about a gauntlet, and from what Arik says, this isn't like these people were sheep farmers. There isn't any great temple. There's nothing special about Portach.
So why is the ground barren?
And she kind of just... Sometimes the ground goes bad.
Not cursed?
She kind of looks at you, Taryn. I don't really know much about Portach. I'm married to Arik, and that's his granduncle. But I remember he once said that his family came from here when I asked him a little bit, but they hadn't... Nobody kind of comes from... It's just that this is kind of where he was able to trace them back to. Something happened here like a century or so ago, like a long while ago, like when the kingdoms were at war with each other before their truce. He doesn't talk about it, and again she gestures towards the fireplace, and you're not going to get much out of Varuf.
May I sit with him?
Sure. Again, he doesn't really say much anymore.
Okay. And I just walk over to the fireplace where he is and sit. If there's no stool beside him, I'll sit on the ground beside him.
There's a small little wooden stool, like it's like one belongs to the kids or something like that. But he's an elderly half-elf gentleman, probably hitting close to maybe his 60s at this stage. 70s almost. And he...
What did you say his name was?
Veruf. He's very, very thin, white and grey hair, kind of just wisps of it tufted between his ears and kind of over his head. You can see his scalp. His skin is quite leathery and tough, wrinkled. His eyes are a very, very sort of milky green colour. His gaze doesn't even drift over Ira as you sort of sit beside him. It's like he just takes a breath in and he just lets it out into the fire.
I look at him for a moment and then I stare into the fire as well, and I just start talking about. Well, I just go. This village it's changed so much from what I remember. I remember the fields being full. I remember the families all gathering together to help each other shear the sheep to get the wool ready for trade. It's so lonely here now. Everyone was so close to each other.
And the fire cracks as just a piece of wood splits.
I'm sorry that you had to live a lot of time here seeing it this way. It was such a great place to grow up.
He just continues to stare into the fire.
I don't think I ever wanted for anything more than just being here. And I just stay sitting then quiet after that.
It's like I said, and Karis is kind of looking at you, Taryn, and Anonce. He doesn't really talk much anymore.
When he did talk, why did he not want to leave?
He's a stubborn old man. Why does any man do what he does or doesn't do? He's a fool. He thinks this is his family's legacy. Doesn't want to leave it behind.
I mean, no offense, but it doesn't look like you're leaving much behind.
None taken. We aren't. And, yeah. Yep.
You don't think it's anything more than that?
Look.
Maybe he's protecting something.
He was a sheep farmer. He protected sheep.
Okay, I guess we'll have to keep looking.
I don't really know what to tell you. You're not going to find anything in any of the houses. When folks left, they took everything. Most people left almost 5 years ago.
That's how long you
We've
guys
only been
have
here
been
about
here?
a year. We got the letter that his Faroof wasn't well, needed help. Arik felt responsible.
Why?
Because they're family. Their blood.
Right. She's just gonna look awkwardly over at Ira.
Thank you for your time. We really appreciate it, and we're sorry that we all landed on your
There's
doorstep
a
like this.
smashing sound as a pane of glass shatters. Yeah.
Like one of the windows.
Oh,
And you just hear, oh, coming from outside.
Yaphi,
It was her.
what did you do?
I didn't. I didn't do anything. Oh, it wasn't me. It was Chris. Oh.
And you just hear, it wasn't us.
They say that
Yeah.
the kid said that. Who was it then?
And the kids look at each other. It was you.
Did you see where it came from? The stone?
No, but we didn't do it.
Are they lying? Can I inside check these little shits?
Is it a lying bastard? Yeah, you can give me an insight check.
14.
They're not lying. Dad said not
Children,
to
I
play
think
with
we should
stones
go
near the house,
inside.
so we don't play with stones near the house. Mommy, it was the lady with the gloves. She must have done it because we didn't do it. We wouldn't do that. We're good kids.
Well, silly me, my hand
See?
must have slipped now.
And they're
I
just
think we
pointing at
don't.
her now. It was her.
Yes. Maru, Chris, inside now. Thank you. Inside now.
Yeah.
And she'll point to the door. Quickly.
And the mother's kind of looking at you.
Yeah, Taryn's gonna raise an eyebrow, questioningly.
Yeah, I look
Yeah.
over in her direction as well.
Yeah.
I'm going to be smiling delightfully at this picture.
Throw a rock at you.
The
Yeah, Yaphi's gonna want to go inside, but she's not going in until the two kids have gone in ahead of her.
they go in, and Karis is on the ground, kind of like with the little brush and pan, just kind of like sweeping up the glass. Oh, Arik is going to be really mad about this.
I'm sorry, ma'am, but
It's fine. I'm sure you can compensate
can
us for the damage.
there's something out there.
Yes, there's a lady throwing stones at my house.
There's something unnatural
Oh my
and
God,
evil
okay.
out
Yes,
there.
there is. Yes, there's something natural and evil out there, and you, and she looks down at Chris and Maru, have to stop telling your stories. There's nothing out there. I'm so sorry. They love to make things up.
Madam,
Like,
I didn't throw that stone, and neither did your children. So where did it come
One
from?
of you threw it, and she looks down at the two of them, and they're like, "We didn't throw it. We didn't throw it. She threw it," and they're kind of pointing out at you.
Yaphi's going to look over at the others and say, "The woods. Something over there. Perhaps what we're looking for, and perhaps something more. But I think we best not go unprepared."
Taryn's just gonna kind of slip her dagger out and look to the others. Well,
It's a direction. Maybe it could be what we're looking for.
Anonce is going to stand up dramatically with her scepter. Let's
does
go.
that count as a weapon?
It's a quarterstaff, so yeah.
Oh, nice. Very glitzy.
It's bedazzled. Yes, it's bedazzled.
Yaphi will turn. Oh, bedazzled. Yaphi will turn to Maru and Chris one more time and hunker down in front of them again and say, "You had best listen to your parents now and get out of here as soon as you can, okay? And thank you for playing with me. It was fun. I haven't had fun like that in a long time."
I'm very sorry. Are the four of you going to go into the woods on a whim?
We need to find what we're looking for.
I think you'd rather have us out from under your feet, wouldn't you?
It's a little cramped. But I really don't think you should venture into the woods.
I thought you said there was nothing there.
The children, and she looks down at Chris and Maru, like to make up stories about evil little monsters that live in the woods. The reality of it is, there aren't evil little creatures and monsters that whisper in the night, but they're the woods. This was a sheep farm. Sheep go missing. Wolves. Bears.
Dave?
I think we're quite prepared for them, and Yaphi's going to attempt to give Taryn a smack on the back. Clanging on your armor.
Yeah, I was going to say, she takes her shield off and is like,
I really think
Right.
the
Some of
four of
us.
you should wait for Eric to come back. If he knows the woods, he might be able... He's just gone into the high fields to tend and take care of some of the flock.
Well, how long is
An
that?
hour
gonna
or
take?
two. Tops then be back for lunch, and then he can take you into the woods before nightfall.
Yaphi she just has this really uneasy feeling, especially with that rock. And she'll turn to the others and say, why don't we go and meet him in the fields and just hurry this all along?
I don't think that your husband should bring us into the woods. I don't mean any disrespect by that, but we're here to do whatever is necessary to retrieve a gauntlet for the king, and whatever that may entail. I don't
Dying.
want to.
You're going to die
no.
for a gauntlet that may or may not actually be here because you've no idea what you're looking for or where it might be.
Well, that's our choice, and I don't want to unintentionally put your husband in harm's way.
Fine.
I do appreciate it, though. I really do.
Look, when he comes back, you can tell him where we went, and if he feels like helping,
you want me to send him in after to get the
I didn't
four
say
of
I
you
wanted
out
to.
of the woods that you
Oh, okay, this is
don't
all
really know where
lovely.
you're going in, and I've warned you that there might be monsters within the woods, but certainly, I will send my husband to fetch you in the hopes.
No need. Oh, no need. We're fine. Thank you for your hospitality. Taryn, let's go. Everybody, let's go. Children, thank you again for the fun and games. And you stay inside now all the time. Okay? Oh. Yaphi will back towards the door.
What's everybody else doing?
As I go to stand up, I place a hand on the granduncle's shoulder, and then I go to walk out the door.
Yeah, Taryn's just going to kind of give him a look and say, if there's anything you know that we should know, now's the time. And then, obviously, he's not going to respond.
He just continues. He doesn't even turn to look at you, Taryn. He just continues to stare into the fire.
And then, she's just going to wait for the other two to walk out in front of her. And then, thank you for your hospitality.
Of course.
And leave.
And the kid's going to run and she just yanks them both by the collars.
Anonce is going to walk out and just turn to the other three and be like, I really have had better cheese and better company. But she did say monsters at the end, but then did start by saying there's wolves. So is there wolves or monsters? I need to know what to prepare here.
She, listen, she definitely knew more than she was letting on.
The children said that something spoke to them.
Oh.
Something that they couldn't see and asked them to come out of the house to play. And
that just sounds like Croaker.
And that's not a good thing, is it, Taryn?
I think this hasn't been terrible.
Oh, okay.
I mean, maybe this is his really funny way of showing us which way we have to look.
Okay, well, he didn't exactly make our experience with the king that fun, so I think best be not say you were wonderful. It was just what you did was just really planned and great. Keep it up. Off you go. Let's trot on and see what awaits us in the woods.
Do we have any way of contacting him? I mean, he led us to here, but once we're here, we don't know where we're going.
Should we bring the horses?
I don't know. Not.
Some of the horses? I mean, you can fly. You don't need a horse.
I can fly, so I'd rather do that. The rest of you can go on horseback if you'd prefer.
How dense are the woods? Like, is it pointless?
No, from where you are looking into the woods, you can see kind of a couple of paths and stuff like that you'd be able to navigate through on them. But as for how dense it is on further in, you can't tell.
I'm wondering if I know we all got a piece of jewelry from Croaker. If touching that and thinking about him, I don't know if that'll have any impact on bringing him here, maybe to help us, or.
Are you saying?
No, I'm asking the DM if I'm doing this.
No, it's not. It's not a.
If we all hold on tight and wish real hard,
explode.
By your powers combined, I am Croaker.
Are we going? Are we going back to the well? If that's where our horses are.
It depends if we want to take them or not.
I don't mind.
Well, you said the tree line is right at the house, right?
Yes, yeah, it's just at the edge of the yard.
If they're going back to the horses, can I fly up and just have a little look-see into the woods, into the area the kids pointed to, see if anything stands out?
Yep. So you're going to go back for your horses? Okay. As the three of you kind of head back down the hill towards the well, and Yaphi, as you fly up to try and get a kind of a better scan of the tree line and the forests beyond, or the woods beyond. So, simultaneously.
Oh, God.
Anonce, Taryn, and Aoire, horses aren't there at the well. The horses are gone.
Oh,
Beautiful.
Yaphi, as you fly up and you kind of start to get a lay of the woods beyond, about half a mile into the woods, where you start to see the trees get a little scarred. They don't look as healthy as what's here at the tree line. In fact, it's almost like a gradient of decay starting from where you are further back and beyond the woods. The trees, they look as if they're being gripped by winter, but you're very much in spring. In the distance, like I said, about half a mile, and it's a very, very thin outline of it that you can see. You see what looks like a steeple.
sticking up far
Just above the tree line.
the trees.
Yeah. About maybe 10 feet above the tree line.
Are there any kind of identifying marks in this? What's it made of? Can I tell?
Not that you can tell from, but it is from where you're currently looking. It's northeast. You've been traveling east. It's kind of a little bit further to the north.
Okay, and about half a mile into the woods, that's where the steeple is. Okay. She'll kind of just put her hand over her eyes because the sun is irritating her and she's trying to make out more details of the steeple and she can't. So she lands down by the others and she's not even paying attention to the fact that the horses aren't there. Half a mile in, there is some sort of building, a steeple. Aoire, maybe you would know. There's something not right about that forest. It's all decayed. It's awful. It's not right. It's not natural. I don't like it. Oh, and we have to go in there, don't we?
I mean, it's the best lead we've got.
A steeple? What is that? Why would that be in the woods?
Why is anything in the woods?
Oh, that's a very existential question, Taryn. I'm not ready to answer that. I'm a bit unnerved by what I saw. Does anyone want to comfort me, maybe? I don't like the feeling of this.
I'd be happy to join you into the decayed woods.
Wonderful. I'm sure.
Taryn's gonna just put her arm around her and steer her back towards the woods. All right, come on, let's go. Let's tell us what you saw.
I said the woods. I don't know what's wrong with them. They're dying or something. It's not normal. And then a steeple was poking about 10 feet above the tree line, half a mile in, northwesterly. I don't know. I couldn't see anything else. It didn't feel right.
What do you mean?
I don't know, Tara. No, I feel a bit unnerved with this whole thing and the stone breaking the window and Croaker and the horses and just everything is just making me feel a bit on edge.
Ma'am, I haven't seen you not be on edge in the entire time I've known you.
Oh, okay. Well, then it's the norm for me. So my mother always said if I got that stressed, I wouldn't live very long. So maybe I'll put this to the test, shall I? Do you have your dryad arm handy? Can you just have that prepared, please?
And she has her shield on one arm, and then she has a dagger in the other one. And she's just gonna say, "Listen, We'll be fine.
Does Lomar have temples and woods that are falling apart around themselves?
None that I've ever been to.
Oh, and Boss, maybe? Ira, is that something she enjoys?
You're muted.
I don't know, but I don't remember there being something in the woods around here. Not to say that there wasn't, it's just I haven't recalled it.
Yaphi will turn to inquire with Anonce and then change her mind and say, "Okay, well then let's go, everybody, off we go. Where are the horses?
Gone.
Gone. Oh,
Gone.
what a shame."
And for your information,
Yes.
I helped build a chapel in the middle of the woods back in my hometown. Let me tell you everything about it from the start.
And fade to black.
Okay. So as Anonce regales you of the story about her, what's the word? Indoctrinated townsfolk into the cult of a vampire lord, and why they built a chapel or a church in his honor in the middle of woods. You're all setting foot into the woods beyond. A couple of hours pass, and for the first hour or so, as you were kind of navigating, and again, it is that thing, Yaphi, at first, and rather Taryn, because you had asked the question about how dense were the woods. Originally, it looked to be it looked fairly okay, like it looked like easy to traverse, but the ground is wet underfoot. It's almost sludge like. It's like trawling through muck. It's slippy at first, and then you kind of even find yourself sinking into it a little bit, and it's uneven. And you can see where some of the trees, their roots have kind of come loose and protrude out as the actual trunk is half sunk into the earth. And it's quite difficult as bramble and briar kind of catch and pull. And thank you so much, Manapod Studios, for the raid. Welcome along. You maneuver as much as the four of you can, and the time passes, and you are straining to maneuver and make your way through the woods. As the sun rises overhead and the morning becomes afternoon and afternoon becomes early evening, we return to the cottage, Arik and Karis, with Arik kind of coming in from the high fields, and Karis now with kind of dinner on the table or supper on the table, and the kids with bellies full, kind of half sleepy, looking up at their dad. He kind of looks around and asks Karis where the four of you went, and she tells him that the four of you went into the woods. You're looking for the gauntlet, and he kind of quizzes his wife on why she let the four of you wander into the woods, and it's not safe. It's quite dangerous. She says that the four of you seemed quite adamant and prepared to do so, and wouldn't hear her out. And Maru is quick to point out that she even told her best friend Yaphi about her friends in the woods and the voices, and the dad kind of rolls his eyes. She shows him a drawing he did of you, Yaphi, and he looks kind of slightly perplexed at it. It's a pretty good drawing, but the dress you're wearing is covered, like it's all mucky, like it looks dirty. And when he asks, "Oh, is that her? Is that what she looks like after playing the Sticks and Stones game?" And Maru kind of just shakes her head. She goes, "No, that's what my friend said she looked like."
Oh my god!
No!
And the dad kind of looks at her and kind of looks back at the wife, and she's like, what are you talking about? And she explains that it's blood. And the two of them kind of look at each other, and they kind of look back, and they both look a little bit worried. And Varuf kind of just turns in his chair, and I know that girl's face. And they both just stare at him. She's below. And they both look very, very confused, and an obvious fear overcomes the pair of them. And Karis rushes to the door and just locks it. We cut back to the four of you wandering through the woods, now soaked with muck and stagnant water. You've moved further into the decay. And here you're now kind of trudging up to above the knee through just bog. And the trees themselves are fat and swollen from just sitting in this stagnant muck. And the sky is growing heavier and darker, and the air is getting that much more pungent, and there's a coldness that's seeping into your bones. It's not just the cold of the water clinging to you, it's something else. There's just something not quite right, kind of unsettling. And all of you just start to hear a whispering and a chattering. And you hear somewhere in the distance a voice just half cackle. Bring him to the below. And the word below just echoes around all of you. Until you realize it's not an echo. It's a chant. And you are surrounded by dozens of glowing red eyes. And that's where we will leave our session.
Emma, stop it!
You friends.
Oh my god, creepy.
I would like to say my Skype dropped as you were talking about him knowing her face. I was like, I didn't hear any part of that he said. So I was just there. I was like, furiously like, no, work. Why now?
He said you're in the below.
Oh shit.
And Homebrew Show said, don't worry, maybe it's just one thing with lots of eyes.
Oh,
That helps.
you friend. Singular.
You can see me from loads of angles.
The best way to see her.
Oh my goodness.
So, thank you all so much for joining us this evening here at D8 Dungeon and Ballad of the Mad Kings. You have been watching Louise as Aoire, Eilish as Taryn, Fiona as Yaphi, and Emma as Anonce, and I'm Declan, and I've been your Dungeon Master. We are D8 Dungeon. We are a group of Irish tabletop role-playing game enthusiasts, is the word I like to use, because we're very enthusiastic about it. And we just love telling stories and sharing them with people all over the world. So for everybody who joined us this evening in chat, thank you so much for dropping in. It's always great to have people kind of, commenting along as the scenario unfolds. If you like what you watched this evening, then we would love if you would give us a follow here on Twitch. You can check out our Discord server, or you can follow us and find us on social media at D8 Dungeon. I know Louise shared an invitation to the Discord server there a little while ago.
Yeah, I was having trouble with the command, so sorry about that.
It might just be a Twitch thing. But with that said and done, if you like what we're doing here, we do a couple of other shows. So every second Thursday, we have Random DMs, a new show we started three episodes ago, which is about 6 weeks ago, where we play established modules as released by Wizards of the Coast for Dungeons and Dragons, but with the catch that every session it could be a different DM, as 5 players share the responsibility of dungeon mastering their way through adventures. And to kick it off, we said we would play the starter set, and we are currently playing the Lost Mines of Phandelver. And up in the DM seat next Thursday, so Thursday week, that is the 27th of April, Wayne Talbot of the Irish Podcast and Sorcery and Shenanigans will be putting his player hat down and picking up his DM hat as Osfire Tallbarrel recounts just what happens when the gang arrive into Phandalin after rescuing Sildar from the clutches of Clarg, the bugbear with a clear larynx issue. Outside of that, we have a podcast series that we release every second Friday, and there's a brand new episode dropping this Friday called Romancing the Dungeon, about heroes looking for love in a world full of peril, monsters, and heartbreakers. And it's an absolute treat and blast to be running all these games and sharing them with everybody out there. So do make sure you check those out, and for more information you can find them on our social media channels, and hit us up at on Twitter or on Facebook or on Instagram or and pop over to our Discord. We have an upcoming charity stream where we will be looking for players and dungeon masters and producers from all over the world for a 2-day charity event where we will be raising money for some really worthy causes, both causes close to us here geographically in Ireland, and causes very, very close to our heart as well. So do make sure you keep an eye on our socials over the next couple of weeks for more information on how you can get involved as a volunteer in whatever capacity that works best for you. To very, very quickly mention before we wrap up, some friends of the shows here, do make sure you check out the gang at Dakota Irish. If you are looking to get your hands on some new dice for your upcoming game or character that you're working on, or maybe you're in the mood for a dice jail, maybe that 1d20 keeps rolling in at 1 for you, you can get a dice jail. Or they also, they're stockists of some amazing TTRPG goodies to just enhance your game. I strongly suggest you check out the candles, and not just because I'm a weird candle little freak. But I'm a little weirdo for candles. I'm a candle freak. I love a good candle. Anyway, let's put their hands in like
I didn't say candle
after the candle. No,
yes.
See, candle freaks. But do check out. Don't do that with their candles. That's obviously not what they want you to do with them. They want you to burn them. And if you use, I think the code Dream Dates, as shared there by Louise in chat. So I think that code is still active. If not, keep an eye on our socials and on our Discord server where we will have a new code for you. But it entitles you to a 10% order off. The milk wax goo dry, 100%. And then you peel it off, and you can see your little fingerprint in it, or your
fingerprint. Yeah.
Sometimes I would press it to my forehead as well, but that's different. Just pretend it was a wax seal, and then you. Yeah, shut up.
Are you a letter going to the king?
He's a present ready to be unwrapped.
Yeah.
Oh.
You're not getting levels. That wasn't genuine. You're not getting levels. But outside of that, if you're in the need or the want, or heck, maybe you've just got a bonus from work or some money for your birthday, and you're like, I need a new notebook. Money please. I need a new notebook because I'm a DM and I'm planning a new campaign, or I'm a player and I've got too many characters and I want to start building one. Then we suggest you check out the Rook and the Raven, crafters of some amazing customizable notebooks, whether you were in front of the DM screen or behind the DM screen, and whether you're playing Dungeons & Dragons, because they're available for loads of different systems. And if you use the code D8Dungeon at the checkout, you will get 15% off your order, and we get a portion of the proceeds from that sale too. That helps us find artists to help with commissioning stuff for characters. There will be some, and there is. And Emma, can you? Does the artist doing the? I know we haven't released anything yet, but the artist for the Ballad of the Mad Kings, do they have a handle that we can direct people to?
Yep.
I didn't want to give their real name just in case. I was like, maybe they go by like a specific, artist.
Yeah, no, they do. Yeah.
Sorry, that was just again while Emma is checking that out. There
very
are some
cute
amazing
how I
artists
see
that
it.
have supported us over here at D8 Dungeon over for the last couple of shows. So we strongly suggest you check out Ixcato, Ixcato. Cat is a phenomenal artiste and role player. So we
Yay.
Oh, and all
Yeah,
round general human.
Amazing person.
Question mark on
First
that
time
because we're
I
not
met her in
certain,
person.
but puts us all to shame.
She was like, I was starstruck when I met her in person for the first.
Absolute sweetheart.
So yeah, make sure.
I'll have it for the next one.
Okay, we'll share it next one. Yeah. We'll share it next one. Sorry. And is that all my stuff that I'm supposed to say? Is that me done? Am I done? Great. Okay, I didn't mess up. So
Do we
no,
get
you don't.
to...
And if you ask, you're going to go down a level. Okay.
That wasn't what I was going to ask. Do we get to have fun again in 2 weeks' time?
There should be no fun had at this at these streams. There's no fun allowed. We're anti-fun. No. Yes, we're back in 2 weeks' time for chapter 5 of the Ballad of the Mad Kings, and we'll see you then.
I have it.
Oh,
The Etsy is Katie's Nice Things, and that's Katies. Nice
Yeah.
Things.
So if you want,
Etsy.com.
if you want to check out Katie's Nice Things on Etsy, you can have a sneak peek at what the character art might look like and you can also commission Katie's Nice Things for your character and for your shows. So without further ado, I hope you have a great week. We will be back. Again, there's a brand new episode of Romancing the Dungeon out on Friday. And next week we'll be streaming another episode of Random DMs. Until then, have a good one. Stay safe. I hope you roll well and get to play lots of fun TTRPGs, and hopefully chat to you over on our Discord server. Mind yourself, folks.
Bye.
bye everybody.
And again,
Happy
there was a brief
Monday.
moment there where I forgot that I was producing and that I was supposed to hit the end scene button. One day I will learn how to do this good, or at least passable.
You did a great
You did.
job.
You're still
Good
not
job.
getting a level. So bye. Take care.
Bye.